Hey guys, welcome to Tales of the Aquarius. I'm Tammy and this is
Emanuel.
And in today's video, we're going to be telling you about how we met. But before that, if you're a new subscriber, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for tuning in again and joining us on this amazing journey of ours. So he will be starting first because he has a longer version, I believe, and a bit maybe funny or not funny, but his version is longer, so go first.
Okay, so on the cold winter morning of
Cold winter morning in Nigeria. There's winter in Nigeria. What?
in the year 2022, I got a job to
21. Jesus Christ. Oh, maybe I should tell you 21. No, we are not starting again. Just continue. You would not bribe me.
In the year 2021, I got a job to work in a company in Germany. Now, before I moved, what I decided to do was to learn about the culture and what it means to live in Germany. And I found two channels very interesting. The first one was Tammy Tamuno, and the second one was Ada's Place. So I basically binge watched their videos on, like life in Germany, traveling, and all of those things. And while watching these videos, I really loved them because, I'll say especially because of the sense of humor. So both of them, they have wonderful sense of humor, and I really love that. So I was watching all of their videos. I watched many of them. And then on the 4th of February 2022, I landed in Germany. Now, before I got to Germany, my brother Uzo, he advised me to reach out. So just reach out to either Tammy or to Ada and just try and get a connection so that when you move into a new country, you can like reach out to people who would, help out. But I don't know. I'm not too social, so I was a bit hesitant. It's like I'd rather not. But he convinced me, and then I reached out to Ada and I was like, hey, I'm going to be in Germany next year. So when I come, I'd like to just like buy, I think it was a drink or something, just to say thank you for the wonderful content that you released. So I sent the message out. She was very, very nice. Of course, I expected it because she was more approachable, unlike Tammy. But when I got to Germany, I expected I was going to meet up with her, but from the start, I knew why I was here. So I'm in a new country, I'm alone, so I had to first of all settle down. So get an apartment, making sure my job and everything is set up, and Meldong, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure she has a video about settling in. So if you're interested, you can go and watch the video. But unfortunately, she's already taken, so that will not work for you. So I settled down, and then one fateful Sunday, I found out that they both attend the same church as I do. And then I reached out and I was like, you attend this church? Okay, then how about next Sunday we get that drink that I promised? And
sorry to cut you short. You reached out to who? You have to specify who
you
reached
out
to.
Wait, there was no hope of me reaching out to this one. I reached out to Ada because she was, of course, way more approachable. She was more friendly. And I'm not saying that Tammy was not approachable or was not friendly. It's just like, if you watch the videos, I don't know, maybe you would see what I saw. It's just...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I reached out to Ada, and then we made a plan to meet up the next Sunday. And then when we met up, Tammy was also in church. So Tammy came out with Ada as well. And while we're going for, we ended up going for dinner, I decided to invite Tammy along. So I was like, would you mind joining us? Of course, I'm your number one fan. Just bless me with your presence. So to my greatest surprise, well, not to my surprise, first of all, was she was trying to say no. Normal. She said, I have plans.
But I had plans. Actually, I had plans. So do you want me to take over from here?
No, just say this part.
I had plans. I did have plans. I didn't know that Ada was meeting. I mean, Ada told me that she was meeting somebody after church, right? But I also had plans. I actually had a date. So, I mean, there's no shame in the game. I was on the street.
I was on the street.
I had plans. I had a date. So, just meeting some random person who I had never met before, I had never spoken to, telling me that I should join you and my friend for lunch or dinner. It was like, okay, but I have plans, right? But then again, Ada seemed to want me to join them, and he seemed very chill. And I was just like, okay, friendly faces, friendly, I would say atmosphere, right? And in my opinion, that was the fastest decision I had ever made. And in that very moment, I called the person I was supposed to be on a date with. Hopefully they never see this video. And I told them, I'm sorry, but I would have to cancel because I just met an old friend and we're all going to have lunch together. So let's put a rain check to, our commitment or our date. And that was it. So I agreed to go for lunch or dinner with him.
Yeah, so she agreed, and three of us went on this dinner, or I don't know, I always struggle to say whether it's lunch or dinner. It was like 5. What do we call that?
Yeah, it was still getting, it was kind of like, no, it was, I think it was last service for church. So last service
5.
is 5 and it finishes at like 6-ish. So let's say dinner.
Okay, so we went on this dinner and it was beautiful. So like we there was a lot of chatting, gisting, laughs, humor, and we were just like talking about different experiences, how it was for me to move to Germany, also me like making notes about certain videos that I had seen that I liked. So it was just really good. It was above my expectations. Speaking for her actually, because for Ada, I knew that there was going to be it was going to be a nice, friendly conversation. But for her, she exceeded my expectation because she she was friendly as well. She was chatty. She brought her real energy. So it's not like there's no forming. There's no unnecessary rudeness.
Energy anywhere.
That's good. So I found out during that day. So that was it for that day. So we went on this dinner, and after the dinner, all of us went our ways. So for me, I had fulfilled my commitment to buy the drink for beautiful people who like made life easy for me to move to Germany. So that was it. I don't think I even took any of your numbers.
No.
Yeah, I didn't even like bye. So, and then we stayed for, I think it was more than a month.
About a month.
And then I just scrolling through Instagram. Usually I go on Instagram to just watch fine videos or funny videos or cute videos of dogs. And then I just laugh or just find some memes and whatever. So Instagram is my place for relaxing. And then during just scrolling through the feeds, I saw a nice picture of this beautiful lady right here. And then I decided I think I liked the picture, yes?
I don't know. Was it a picture or a video?
I don't know. Or maybe a video. But then I liked it and then I followed her. And before I could put my phone in my pocket, she followed back. I say her. But I say this girl, she sees something. But I say this girl, she was waiting for something.
I would defend myself. I would defend myself.
Defend yourself.
No, finish up and I would defend myself.
Okay,
I have so much to say.
So I followed her and then she followed back. That was nice. But we stayed maybe a few days, I think, after following each other. And then I went to a zoo somewhere in Magdeburg in Germany. And then I did one mirror selfies called, right?
Yeah.
And then she sent me a fire emoji. And that was like that. She said that was where she shot her shot though. But she sent me a fire emoji on the picture. And then we started chatting. So we're chatting about like how our day has gone and all those things. And then from there, she decided to take me on a date. So she booked a nice
It was a movie.
yeah, a movie in a cinema. I know Doctor Strange was in it, but that was all I knew about the movie because we were basically just gisting and laughing in the cinema. I'm sure people were angry about it, but yeah. So she took me on this date. We went on a movie date, and afterwards it was again really good. Like we take long walks, just chatting, gisting, laughing, and then we went on a second date. In I think that was the next day, right? The next 2 days, maybe the next day or the next 2 days, we went on a second date where we had not Korean, I think it was Chinese dumplings. Was it? We had dumplings, and then we were chatting, and fortunately, unfortunately, that weekend both of us were supposed to travel. I think it was on a Thursday. I was supposed to go to Portugal. She was supposed to go to, what was the city?
Stuttgart. So another city in Germany.
Stuttgart.
Stuttgart.
Yeah, so she went to Stuttgart, I went to Portugal, and even during this trip, both of us were like messaging back and forth, just chatting up, video calls, and all of those things. And at least for me, it was the energy, the conversations, the everything about her was just screaming green flag, at least to me. So I was just basically looking forward to the end of these trips. Like I need to run back home and do something before somebody else will do something. And it's like the way she has already explained that she already had date. She was in the market. Man, no come back Germany. You say, can we? She say, you are too late. So long story short, we were chatting, and then when I got back from Portugal, then I asked her to be my mi amore, you know? Yeah, and she said yes.
I have my version 1 and my defenses. So let me start with my version. So my own part of this story literally started in church that day. Random day, like I said, I had a date that was planned after church, and I went to church normal before the date. So the plan was after church, I would just go straight for my date and all that. Now, when I got to church, I and Ada, of course, we usually would go for this for the same service. When I got there, she told me that she was going to meet up with someone after church, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Me, I have a date, and that was it. So after church, we came out of church, and we were basically just chit chatting, and then he came up like to us and introduced himself and said he was like our number one fan and he knew me from YouTube. Now for me that was shocking because I've met a lot of people that know me from Instagram, but someone meeting me, like knowing me off YouTube, was very strange. I don't know, I don't have a lot of followers per se on YouTube, and I just feel like I'm shielded from all of my subscribers. I don't know why I felt that way, but it just felt like I was shielded from my subscribers, so I would never meet anybody in real life. But from Instagram, yeah, I've met a lot of people. So someone saying they had met me off of YouTube was just like, oh, okay, you know. And then he said like he wanted to take us for lunch to show his appreciation for the kind of videos that we had put out, to say thank you. Again, I had a date. So it was a big decision for me to just keep that date and say, okay, I'll go with you. But I was also very nice. You seemed very friendly. He seemed friendly. And for what it's worth, I wasn't thinking relationship or anything when I saw him or when we were having this conversation. It was just like, oh, you know, friendly. And I mean, for anybody who has been in the market for a while, dates can be stressful. So it was like, okay, this is just a friendly, you know, meet up or friendly chat or whatever. This is more chill and more casual than the date I was about to go for. So this was sort of, I don't know if I should use the word escape, but this was sort of chill for me to say yes to. I called my date, said the same thing, the thing I said earlier, that I had met an old friend and we're all meeting up for lunch. It was a way to let him down easily. So he said, okay, fine, that was cool. And then we all went for lunch and we're just gisting. It was nothing relationshipy. It was just like how he came to Germany. And the good thing is, I don't know if he's, now that I'm with him, that his memory has depreciated, but he remembered specific details that I didn't even know were in my videos. And I found that very cool, because how do you remember, let's say, a hand gesture that I made, or a facial expression at a specific time in a video that you had seen on YouTube? So I found that very funny and like kind of cool. So we just talked and all, and everybody, bade themselves farewell. We called it a day. And then getting to 1 month later, I didn't see him. I didn't hear from him. Now, remember, I didn't have any contact with him. The only person that had the slightest contact was Ada. So getting to like 1 month later, he pops up on my Instagram and he followed me. Normally, I wouldn't follow him. Not because I don't follow people back, but I'm very particular about who I follow back on Instagram, because I need to like the kind of content that you put out for me to follow you. So you should post something that interests me. If, for example, you post all about cars, I'm not a car person, I wouldn't follow you. I don't need to see that, right? So it's not like it doesn't come from like a place of like I want to be on my high horse, or I don't like following people back. It's just about the content. I like to filter what I see. So I saw him, he followed me. He didn't actually have a lot of pictures, but the only reason that I followed him back was because I was like, oh, this guy bought me lunch the other day. I've met him physically. So, it would be nice, courtesy, to just follow back. And I followed him back. Now, after I followed him back, I think it was even the same day that I saw your picture, not a few days later. The picture, like when you went to the zoo.
Ah, the same day?
I think it was the same day.
Okay.
But anyway, I know that the first thing that I did was I saw the picture, and then before I saw the picture, when I saw that he had followed me and I followed back, I texted Ada to let her know, hey, this guy that we had lunch with the other day, we just started following each other on Instagram. So what's up with you two? Because I needed to know first, like, was he onto her or whatever? And she was like, oh, he's cool. We're cool. We haven't even spoken since then, or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, coast is clear. So again, I shot my shot. That fire emoji was my shot. Nobody can drag with me. I shot my shot. But again, this was also me kind of being friendly-ish. I'll tell you where I stopped being friendly. So I shot my shot and I sent a message. And I think I started asking about your summer vacation, your summer plans. Because this was like June-ish. Mm-hmm. So this was in like June. Now remember, we had met in May. Mm-hmm. We had met in May. 1 month later, this was June. And I was asking him what were his summer plans. Now the day before that, I had gotten sunburned for the first time in my entire life. So I was hiding from the sun. And then he said like his summer plans was to say yes to everything. So your summer plans is to say yes to everything. And he was like, yeah, sure. I'm like, are you sure? He said, yeah. I'm like, okay, will you marry me? And he said, yes. I'm like, okay, you said find the pastor and everything. And then he was ready to go. And it was just all bands, right? But it was just funny that we could just easily vibe. And then I think the next day, it wasn't the same day. It was probably like the next day. I then randomly asked you if you wanted to go see a movie, right? Mm-hmm. It was really hot that day. I remember, like I didn't ask him, would he like to go see a movie? And he said he hadn't even had had the time to see what a cinema looked like in the country yet, because he was still trying to settle in. And I'm like, okay, don't worry, I'll handle it. Let me do the booking. I just showed him the movies that were available at the time for him to choose one that he wanted. And then he chose one, and I think you said you would prefer it to be later because the weather was really hot. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, it works for me too. So we waited till it was like evening 9-ish, and then we met and we saw the movie. None of us remember what happened in the movie. Nah. I don't remember what happened in the movie. I think I remember that it was Doctor Strange, but I don't know what happened there, because we ended up chit-chatting and just laughing throughout the movie duration. And after the movie, what he said happened, like we just took a walk, like what did they call them? Israelites in the wilderness. We just started walking across Berlin and just talking and talking and talking and talking. I think we talked till it was like 12 a.m. or something. We didn't even realize how
really
late it was.
Really
So
late.
now imagine after this amazing date, this guy didn't take my number. Nothing. I mean, he still had my Instagram handle, right? We're chatting from Instagram, but he didn't take my number. We said bye-bye to each other, and that was it. And he had told me something that I felt like was a red flag. He had said that he has a problem with keeping in touch with people. So if he leaves a country or if he leaves a place, he just would break the SIM card, buy a new one, and move on with his life. And I'm like, okay, this is a red flag, because what do you mean you just, up and go, you don't bother? I was like, okay. In that moment, I just thought to myself, this one does not seem like he even wants you to bother him. So he has told you pump and plain that he doesn't keep in touch. Don't expect him to call you or to text you, and you too don't get angry if he doesn't. So that was like the vibe that I got from that thing that he said. It was later I realized he was just telling me, not because he wanted me to read any meaning out of it. But then because of that, the next day I didn't even bother texting him. Right? I just moved on. I'm like, okay, we had a nice time, but everybody should move on, because again, he doesn't keep in touch. But instead, he texted me. So the conversation continued and we chatted a bit, and then he said he owed me because I paid for the movie, so he had to take me for lunch. And I had seen this restaurant on Instagram. It was a new dumpling place. Yeah, I don't remember if it was Korean also. It was a new dumpling place, and I was like, okay, we could try this place after work. So we agreed to meet up after work, I think the day after. So that's 2 days after our previous date.
Okay. And
then we met up and went to the dumpling place and tried it. I wouldn't say it was the best dumpling. We've had way better. We've had better dumplings after that experience. But it wasn't bad. It just was not the best. After that, we, again, started walking. I don't know why we like walking. But we just started walking again all the way. We walked through one park. I had never been to that park before. That was the first time. And we went through all the corners. No joke. Like, through all the corners. And while we were walking, we also saw someone who said they knew me from YouTube.
Yeah.
And that was also weird again. I was like, okay, so this is my YouTube era where people know me and I see them in real life. So we also met someone who said they knew me from YouTube. And then we talked and talked and talked till, again, around 12 midnight. Now, remember, we met literally just after work. So like 6 p.m. and we were together till 12 midnight walking. So when it was like around that time, he of course had a plane to catch the very next day, I think early in the morning, and he had not even packed. And I had to catch a train to Stuttgart. And then so what now happened was, it was that in that moment when we're like, okay, good night. That was when you then asked for my number. That was when he now asked for my number, imagine.
Are you sure?
Yes, that was when you asked for my number.
Okay.
And then I gave it to him. I was like, God, thank you. Finally. But that was when he asked for my number, and then we exchanged numbers and we went our separate ways. He went to Portugal. I went to Stuttgart. And then I think he stayed in Portugal for like a week. And during that time, we were basically just, chatting. He was updating me on everything that was happening on the trip. I think sending me pictures and all. And then, now, not to throw shade, but there was this friend that was also on the trip with him that kept saying every time we were on the phone, he would start singing, last, now everybody go chop breakfast. And it was so annoying. But he kept doing that every time we were on the call. Funny part, he was one of the most important people at our wedding. But he kept doing that. I don't know, maybe he thought I was a bad person, or he just, but whatever. I think it was just for fun. But it was a very funny thing. And then he came back from the trip and just came basically straight to my apartment. I think, you first went to your apartment, dropped your stuff, your luggage and everything. And then just came straight to my apartment. And then he got me this very cute gift. It was like a bikini cover. And then, but before he gave it to me, see this Igbo man. I said, this Igbo man, wait. This guy first asked me to be his girlfriend, and then I said yes. And then he brought out the gift. So I was like, so if I said no, you would have not given me this gift.
Why did I give you the gift?
It
Why? Why will I give you the gift?
The gift was for me, regardless of my answer. The
Okay.
gift was not in response to whatever. The gift was not like if she says yes, she gets the gift. It was.
But I didn't plan it now. Is that,
You didn't plan what?
I didn't plan to give you the gift if you said yes. It's
Yeah,
just how it happened.
but why did you give me the gift?
No, it's called
first?
priority. My priority is I need to, how do you say it? I need to
Secure the bag.
Exactly. I need to secure the bag first.
Okay.
Then others can come later.
Oh, well, if you say so, but in my opinion,
It's the truth.
he needed to make sure I said yes before giving me that gift. But pretty much that was what happened, and like they say, the rest is history.
Apart from that, I think for me it was really an interesting journey. It was easy, I would say, like really easy. It's like I just knew that there was great potential with this woman here.
After saying that, I was unapproachable. I would also like to know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think from my videos, can you tell or do you get the vibe that I'm unapproachable or approachable? And if you're wondering, I will put the link to my personal channel so you can see, maybe watch 1 or 2 videos. Come back and tell me if you think you got the same vibe he got, or I'm a nice person.
No, but now they are the result will be tainted because if they've watched this video, they can see. Yeah.
Oh,
so
whatever.
But yeah, just tell her she's not approachable and let's win.
What? No, they should tell me I'm approachable so you lose.
Anyways, this brings us to the end of this video. If you found this interesting, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't subscribe and turn on the notification. We have more videos released frequently. All right?
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.